On Twitch? No. Sorry. No.
All right, I think we're live.
Jonathan, you just beat me to that, too.
All right, so we will get Matt in by having him. Hi.
We're now talking on the Twitch stream. Just
We should be like vocal and stuff too, right? Can everybody hear us?
cool, yeah.
Weird seeing portions of your Discord flash up in the
Oh god, it did exactly what I thought it was going to do.
Yep.
Hello, internet. We're working out some minor technical gubbins.
Wow, that is like pieces of Zach everywhere.
The Kaiju have destroyed our infrastructure.
Oh man, hi Matt. How are you guys doing?
Hi folks, I am very happy to be home.
Happening right now.
This is amazing. Should we perhaps drop and come back when we fix this?
No. We're gonna push right through it. We're gonna have everybody introduce themselves. Yeah, because the best part about this is that I'm gonna fix this while everybody else introduces themselves. Hi everybody. I'm Mike J. Darkson Berard. You may remember me from such podcasts or Twitch streams and other things such as this one. I like playing these games online, and I am the DM or GM for our Legacy game. It's my first time GMing Legacy, but I ain't scared because PBTA and everyone should play this. Somebody else go.
Hi, I'm Adam. As usual, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm here to represent the unwashed masses that know nothing about Legacy, except for what they've read in the last maybe hour.
Nice.
Whoa.
Wow, that didn't help.
Yeah,
Wasn't that better?
Let's pretend that didn't happen. Everyone ignore that.
I'm into the part where I'm like all over the place. This is great. Hi, I'm Zach, and you can't see all of my face with one eyeball. So I'm the person who pitched Legacy, and I know slightly more about it than the rest of these folks. I've also streamed each of the last 2 nights, and I have a toddler that doesn't want to sleep at home. So I'm weird right now, and this is going to be great. Total eclipse of the heart.
They don't want to sleep at home, but will they sleep elsewhere?
Not really, no. I have tried that. It didn't work, unfortunately.
Why? Why must you do this to me, Discord?
It knows we're live on there. Hi, I'm Jonathan. You might know me from, I guess, these things. Otherwise, that's going to be a little creepy. And Adam stole most of my lines here about not knowing what I'm doing, but, you know, I like giant monsters. They're cool. So we'll figure this out.
Yeah, so the pitch for Legacy, and I should read some of the text here because the text is real strong. Basically, we are playing a game in which the world has already ended in one form or another. Basically, this is me stretching it to get to the cool beginnings of the game here. Describe what Legacy is. Yeah, this page has it. Into this world step the survivors, bound together by blood or ideology or desperation to something new. You play through their stories as they explore new realms, suffer dark times, and celebrate great victories. You craft a new world together. At the heart of these stories will be your characters. Learned or savage, diplomatic or dictatorial, your family's history is defined by the characters you make. As the ages turn, their actions shape the world. Legacy is a game of what comes after the apocalypse. It's about different ideologies competing or cooperating to evolve. To rebuild, evolve, and adapt. It's about building a new world, permanently marked with monuments to the efforts of your ancestors. So there's a bunch of different ways to play Legacy. Basically, it's powered by the Apocalypse game, and you can have different inspirations that you draw from. I read this and immediately thought of Godzilla 50-Year War, or Half-Century War, Godzilla Half-Century War, and it's a lovely comic book about how people drop a bomb and wake up Godzilla, and then Kaiju destroy the world, and one man's relationship with the giant monster. Not like that.
It could be like that if you want it to be.
It could be.
I don't judge.
So here we are. Yeah, I'm a big fan of giant monsters. I've been watching Kaiju movies since probably younger than is strictly appropriate for children to watch Kaiju movies.
But Gamera is friend to all the children.
And Mothra.
Mm-hmm.
Mothra! And what was I going to say? Right, it's going to be awesome, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And there are like a million things to do for our first session, and the first thing we should talk about... Well, does anybody have any questions before we talk about the getting started?
I mean, yeah, but I don't think there's like a good way to break them down except just to keep going forward and learn what we got.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing this live, so...
We play to find out what happens.
Exactly. I mean, like, do I have any questions? Yeah, what? But I don't expect a productive answer.
All right, so for starters, we want to talk about the tone of our apocalypse, or post-apocalypse, I guess. There are 3 suggested sets of tone for the game. There is ruins. The blurb for ruins is, under ruins, characters and families are far removed from the technological wonders of the before, setting up a state pretty similar to the modern world. The technology that exists is scavenged and temperamental, and the playbooks are grounded and moral. This setting is a good choice for groups new to Legacy. Think The Road, Mad Max, Roadside Picnic, and The Walking Dead. The second of the 3 tones is...
Yeah, that's about what I heard, except for like Mad Max somewhere in the middle of the forest.
I guess.
Mad Max is the only one of those 4 that I'm familiar with. Oh, that's not true. I used to watch a lot of Walking Dead.
The road is like that. It got made into the movie with
what's his face?
Aragorn, yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking the Book of Eli.
And Roadside Picnic's the one about the guy who's in Canada when the bombs fall, isn't it? I don't remember. Anyway, regardless, I feel like if we've already named Kaiju as an aspect of the campaign, go big or go home automatically applies. So we're not going to get stuck in this like road warrior grimy crap. Let's move on.
All right, Echoes.
Yeah.
In Echoes, advanced and bizarre technology is commonplace, and this is reflected in their playbooks. They might be users, masters, or victims of these weirder elements, but they remain in essence all too human. Think Fallout, The Matrix, or Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, if you were to pick 3 fictions and group them together, I'm not sure you'd pick Fallout, The Matrix, and HZD.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, sorta. I can see the thread there.
Pull that thread for me, Matt.
I mean, it's obviously about a time when mankind's ascendancy has ended, and so it allows for new societies to rise up to a certain extent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like Fallout feels the odd man out there just because like most of the tech in Fallout is like semi-plausible-ish, or it's or it's just a parody of what we have. Whereas HCD and the Matrix are, we can't do that.
No.
I don't know. The Fat Man kind of puts the pay to that lie, I think.
What's happened? Oh, robot dinosaurs have taken over. Oh, okay.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that the common thread there though is that magic style technology exists in some way, shape, or form, and people are still the dominant life form on Earth, right? Even after everything went down, people are still like the dominant actual like organic life form on Earth. I know I have to preface that because of the Matrix, right?
Well,
Yeah.
also
And HCD.
right, technological Tyrannosaurus.
It isn't really a dominant life form though. It's like
That's
four of
old.
them.
It's only not a dominant life form because you're the player character. Everybody else runs the hell away.
Yes. I know, like if we were doing this on like a biological like survey method though, right? Like the biomass of the mechanical Tyrannosauruses is much lower than the biomass of.
Well, it's zero.
Yeah. Can we talk about the phrase biomass right there?
Well, yeah. Obviously, that needs altered as well. But like, I don't know. I just don't see them as that. Like, they are the thing you have to worry about. But I mean, if I go too far outside the town I live in right now, I have to worry about like fucking mountain lions, and they're not the dominant. They're not the dominant life form around here. So I don't know. I think it's slightly different. Anyway, but that's the thing, right? Like they're magical technology, but still humans and like identifiable. Most of the stuff like you can get to in like 2 steps, right?
Yeah.
The next category is wilder.
And category 3 is mirrors. With mirrors, all expectations of normality are thrown out the window. Mutants, aliens, mystics, psychic power, anything goes. The playbooks draw on the varied sources such as War of the Worlds, The Planet of the Apes, and Terminator, with players stepping into the inhuman shoes of those works' antagonists. Players stepping into the shoes of the antagonists?
Yeah, so the mirrors playbooks are they're people fighting kaiju, right?
Yep.
But that playbook brings kaiju into the setting, right? There's space aliens who got trapped here when everything went bad.
Yeah.
There's robots, like a robot army, the artificial hive or whatever it's called.
Right.
And then there's the uplifted children of humanity, which is like animal mutants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But all right, so the examples they give though, like Terminator, almost feels like setting-wise it belongs in the last group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
Terminator feels more plausible than Matrix at this point.
Yeah.
I think that but the Terminator they're referencing is like the Terminator before they time travel backwards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely the Judgment Day future.
Yeah. No.
Use these playbooks to move you far away from a baseline post-apocalyptic setting. Make sure that you work together to create a setting that still feels cohesive and real. Which is, it's just like, guys, look, like Matt, you're, I don't want to call you new to the table because you're clearly not. You've been to a lot of these things, but like, this is a large portion of the group that created Swamp Wizards out of 45 minutes of spare time. And
yeah, this is what you guys always talk about, Swamp Wizards. So now I'm here.
Yeah.
It's coming. A couple more weeks.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It is now at the editor, so to speak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Just out of curiosity, Mikey, we've got a Roll20 set up. Did we get legacy sheets? Do they have legacy sheets?
We do, and they are glorious.
Awesome. Super into that.
I will add some characters. Name. Matt, did you get the? Oh God, why did Discord stop updating? That's not great. All right, let's put that over there. Oh, that doesn't work either. So moving that window changes everything.
Oh God, yeah. Stream go bad. Stream go bad.
So what
Come
caused
back,
that?
stream.
I just closed that.
Okay. Okay, so I'm not going to rearrange the windows anymore.
Don't touch anything.
Don't touch anything in player's journal. Adam can be edited by Adam. Creates. Add a new character. But if it's not on the screen, oh no, that's just me. That's not moving. I always feel silly when it turns out that it's my fault. DA. Oh, Matt, I'm sorry. I asked you before. Did you get the Roll20 link?
I had not, please.
Here, I can hold it down.
Sorry.
There you go. It's over in Discord chat.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
And Benjamin Coffin III. No, you're not. It's okay. Just rant is always playing in the back of my head.
Oh, okay. That's different.
All right. So yeah, you should have character sheets assigned to you now, and they switch between family and character mode.
Oh. All right. So
Yeah.
we started the talk of the shoot. What was the phrase that you used there? The tone.
Yeah.
So I think it's clear that we're talking at least echoes and probably mirrors.
Sorry, I have not seen Matt keep Crom and crush your enemies before.
That's
You
all right.
haven't? Really? Okay.
I like that. I probably should pick something more appropriate than a duffel bag. But anyway.
Yeah, I was actually looking to change mine. We'll get to that when we figure out what we're playing, probably, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody should have a character sheet now.
All right, now I'm just going to play a scavenger so I don't have to change the picture.
You know, I was thinking about doing tyrants, so.
All right. So your question about tone.
Yeah. We were rudely interrupted by being funny and amusing.
How dare we?
I mean, I think like the far end stuff doesn't actually change. Like each individual playbook changes the tone, but I don't think like there's not a big tone that shifts between the second and third. Right.
Well, and I think a big one would be like you said, they're kaiju hunters, and I'm like, if some of us are kaiju hunters, that immediately changes the tone of the kaiju from like immortal gods into no, you can actually kill these things.
Can we? Are we just?
I mean, if somebody takes Kaiju Hunter, we sure can.
Yeah,
that's what Jonathan's saying. Yeah.
Which one is the Kaiju Hunter playbook? Order of the Titan
is the Kaiju Hunter.
Yeah.
Their starting move is you get to declare that there's Kaiju coming.
yeah, I love that though.
Oh, that's great.
Because you get penalized if you cry wolf.
Kaiju, there's Kaiju coming, and then like everybody has to. It's great.
All right.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm down for that. Like, I will. What's the thing? You know, there will be GM Kaiju or whatever that. I mean, I was thinking that they would be threatening, but I guess that's the whole. That's what just still.
Really?
I'm blathering. Okay, so it sounds like we kind of want to go for a mirrors tone.
Well, and as we discussed there's levels of mirrors here. I mean, obviously there are kaiju, but like there being Borg and there being aliens and stuff like that are an entirely different thing, you know.
Yeah. We can go if somebody wants to play one of those. I think we can get the if that's the thing that we want to do. But yeah, I think we play the far end and we see how it goes.
Yeah.
We turn it all the way up to 11.
Yeah, just go rock and roll.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay, cool. So the next step is going to be family creation. So we have each non-GM player takes a different family playbook, places the homeland sheet wherever you can see it. If the GM wants, they can pick a few playbooks that nobody's using to be non-player factions competing with the players. So here is our homeland, which you know, I'm kind of squicky about the name homeland. Can we call it something else?
Sure.
Turf, territory.
Haven.
We will call this our land.
We can also.
Ouch.
We can,
Israel. Yeah, that's what it's called.
we can also start by naming it something setting specific already, right? Like,
That's true.
Yeah.
is this the crater? Is this like?
Jeez.
The
Is
impact
this the
zone.
boneyard? Is
Ooh.
this like?
I mean, if somebody shows up to be a kaiju hunter, then it probably is the boneyard, right?
Is this the forest of ribs? Like, what is?
Oh man, if it's that, it has to have ribs all like put around it, and we call it the rib cage.
No, I thought that was the jail.
Oh,
I don't know about jailing kaiju. I mean, that's very
You said we're
impressive.
jailing kaiju.
all right. We're gonna call boneyard, aka where we start. I can't type. Where we start. Oh, I could actually share this picture by switching scenes to the one where I'm showing that one. All right.
Yeah.
To
you
quote
can.
Ian Malcolm. No, to quote what's his face? Hold under your butts.
Boom.
Oh God, what's this?
It was momentary, but it's back. Okay, now we got faces, but we're all black, like all blacked out. Now we got map.
Okay. Cool. We've got map, but
We've got map sign.
yes. Not movie sign. All right, can I copy this? I can copy and then paste. Duplicate. That's not even close. Delete. All right, so let's keep talking while I work through this. All right, so who has an idea on what they want to play?
So much silence.
I only have an idea, but
Well, pitch.
I'm not the best person to
Go.
go first.
No,
Yeah,
pitch.
go for it. Go for it.
Pitch.
So I want to make cultists that worship the kaiju.
We can do that. We can do that.
The Atomist pitch.
That is very.
Thank you for taking that because I need to not to be the cardinal cult.
Well, it dovetails with the idea I had in my head, so I'm cool with that. I like it a lot.
It interacts very interestingly with a couple of the ideas that I had.
Yep.
Yes.
So, all right.
Yeah.
So I was assuming I was going to go with where did they go?
The True Faith dudes?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember what their actual
Yeah,
Servants
Service of the One
servants of the true faith. Servants of the one true faith. Yeah.
I really like how the next series of things that you do to define them will make changes to the setting automatically. I
Yeah.
really like that. So the way you get your stats is by saying how your religion formed and what that means for the setting.
Ooh, actually, I suppose that's one question that I didn't quite have time to look up. What the heck's reach, grasp, and sleight?
Okay, so reach is how it looks like don't let your reach exceed your grasp,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
reach is how far you can act, like
Yep.
basically how far out you can get something. Grasp is how
Well,
strong
or
your
how
hold
strong.
is on the things you can get a hold of, and sleight is how easily you can hide what you're doing from other people.
Okay.
Oh.
So if you want to be a secret cult,
Ooh, that's a good point. You need sleight.
No, I'm not being secret at all.
there you go. Okay.
Are there additional playbooks that we have access to?
There is one. There is one that's not in here. That was only Kickstarter folks. Called the Undying. It's basically rich people that lived through the apocalypse in like safety zones and
Like
have
if you-
found a way to become immortal.
Or if you want to do Highlander style stuff, you can do that. Or yeah,
That's actually kind of cool. Oh, come on. I know they had that there. Downloads UFO Press.
The Eternal Masquerade is one I see here. What is this from? An Afflicted? Ascended? Afflicted?
Eternal Masquerade and the Afflicted. Where are you seeing that, Mike?
Oh yeah, that's in there. That's
handouts. So the uplifted children of mankind is one of them here. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm looking at the handout sheets.
Yeah.
PDFs.
Oh, so there might be a couple more on there that I wasn't aware of. Yeah.
Yeah, Eternal Masquerade. They're funky. I kind of want to be them, but that also is like super on brand for me, and I want to try and do something different. So.
Right. Yeah. The Deathless Elite are the people who found a way to make themselves immortal and live through the apocalypse. Oh yeah, there it is. The Eternal Masquerade and the Afflicted.
The Afflicted are interesting.
You burn from the inside. You just live the world gone mad. Oh, good. They're plague carriers. That's awesome. Is there a kaiju plague? Because that's horrifying.
Yeah.
Titans as a plague. That could be a thing.
Nobody besides me here has played Vampire yet.
I played Vampire. Oh,
Like
Vampire.
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 The poorly spelled undead.
Yeah. There's something about that's similar in there, so that would be interesting to me. I don't think that's what I'm going with though. I have a couple of different ideas already.
Yeah.
So Adam,
Yes.
choose one.
Yeah, so there's two stat blocks that I'm trying to decide between whether it would fit my Zerg Rush, one or the other. Obviously, the flavor text for the first one kind of seems the most apt about building your religion was built around the forces of the fall.
Okay. Yeah.
But I kind of want reach.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Your reach would not be very long, huh?
Yeah.
So
Well-
I kind of have to go with merging fragments of faith from before.
Is Godzilla a Christ figure for you?
Christzilla.
I've read that comic, I swear.
Oh god. Oh god.
I
This
mean,
is his
I
flesh.
own Godzilla Goes to Hell, so.
Okay. Yeah, you eat of his flesh, it'll feed you for a month.
Oh, do you guys chase kaiju to chow down and gain their power?
Oh.
Or we feed ourselves to them to become one with the kaiju.
Oh god. That sounds
Shortest game ever.
Well, I mean that's how, because each of the characters, right? They have they burn bright, but they burn short. So just like
Yeah.
we chase the kaiju down, and then we get Ed.
But you can't
Yeah,
just feed random rabble to the kaiju. You have to be, go through the 10 steps of purification and
Right, the
there's a
ritual
process.
bashing yourself with basil leaves.
Yeah.
That's right, the bathing in the 7 herbs and spices.
Are you sure it was a religion? Are you sure you just been formed from a bunch of fast food conglomerates?
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
man.
those of the Popeye.
If Colonel Sanders was also Jim Jones, that's this religion.
Ooh.
All right, so that's way too large. Let's make it 16. So,
Welcome, viewers.
Family 1. What are these guys? These are the servants of the One True Fall.
Yeah.
Are you gonna call them Zerg Rush?
I haven't decided the name yet.
Yeah, the One True Fall. And they are, and you're gonna pick the stat is gonna be.
We just cribbed a bunch of stuff from other religions and made a better faith.
Well, yeah, you had a bunch of people come from other faiths that brought their own stuff in, and you
Yeah.
put it all together, and you mashed it together, and you fed it to Godzilla.
Clearly godlike beings.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's right there in the title.
Previous scriptures
Yeah.
with the new revelation.
We're here to serve man. Have you read our book?
So it's a good book. So, what's your tradition?
So our populist is probably the evangelistic cult full of zealous converts. Our style. I mean, I kind of like outlandish and impractical ceremonial wear, but
it's not very low key.
Yeah, well,
if that's what you're going for. If not, I mean, that sounds great to me.
I mean, I'm definitely not doing conspicuous symbols of prosperity and devotion. That doesn't work. It's just whether they're going to be plain or outlandish.
I mean, do you have big robes that you wear to get eaten by gods? Do you need to catch the eye of the kaiju so they eat you specifically?
Eye of the kaiju.
What's the blessing?
God, of course you do.
I mean, if you're going to be evangelical about it and you're going to need new convert, then you want to be flashy, right?
I feel like you raided some sort of novelty store that had Godzilla like masks and stuff originally.
God. Like your honor guard have those like inflatable Rex costumes?
Yeah,
Right?
the inflatable tier.
Do they
Yeah,
have like Hulk hands?
It's great.
That's pretty great too.
now I have to do outlandish.
The tone being set already is
Glorious.
You wanted me to go first, so
hey man, this definitely like slots right into our like dark absurdist humor.
Yeah. Which is on brand, as they say.
Yep.
once again you wanted me to go first.
It's all right. It's all right. It just gives us a baseline.
You've asked for dark service humor. We give you Adam.
It's like, so far as this is just like, oh yeah, that works for me. I got a good idea. We're good. All right.
All right. So did you set an outlandish and impractical or conspicuous symbols of prosperity and devotion?
No, outlandish and impractical ceremonial wear. So not everybody has the outlandish stuff. It's going to be the fancy people that have the big hats.
What is thy governance?
I haven't decided if I want an oracle or not. I don't think I want an oracle. So I'm guessing dogmatic adherence to a holy text.
Oh God.
What is the holy what is the holy text?
Godzilla in hell.
It's probably like a badly edited Wikipedia page about all the Godzilla movies.
Somebody's got one like printed out that they
Print it
just.
out.
Yeah.
Like your pope is two little girls that
That's a strong argument for the oracle part.
Yeah. Well, but then again, also the oracle might work.
Can
The
I
character. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I pitch a thing? Many shepherds guiding many flocks. If your like upper echelons are constantly being eaten, like this seems like a populist intake religion, right? Like
True.
it also leaves it open for like role playing the schisms between different sects over which of the 7 herbs and spices is the most important.
And
I imagine
which
it's like-
kaiju is the right one to get eaten by.
Like who would have won in Godzilla versus Mothra or something? Or
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, each one follows a different movie.
Well,
Oh,
I just
God.
picture that the best way to win an argument is to get yourself eaten by a kaiju.
Right. So who's right? Well,
pretty
Mothra
definitive,
ate
right?
mobs, but he's clearly right.
Okay, yeah, we're doing many shepherds creating many flocks. And when you say flocks, that tends to take on different,
Yeah.
connotation.
Yeah, we can call them herds or.
They do move in herds.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, so next you get to draw a landmark on the map.
Oh, jeez.
You get to draw from one, or draw a sign of one from each on the map, or create something else.
So obviously the first, or a holy site that drew countless pilgrims to their deaths is the first landing of the first kaiju. So wherever that coastal landmark is going to be, I don't have a map.
So yeah, are they coming out of the ocean? Is that what we're deciding now?
Is that traditional kaiju birthplace, the ocean?
I mean, it really is. Obviously, yeah.
Or are we doing meteor strike?
Yeah, good chunk.
It depends, right? Like, Godzilla rose from the depths of the earth. There's the whole hollow earth theory that applies into a lot of them. The Hedorah, the smog monster, is created from the pollution of mankind. Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, and Space Godzilla come from space. Mechagodzilla is a creation of the... Like, I literally have watched hundreds of hours of kaiju movies.
I think we'll go traditional with this one, where we're going to make landfall, like some sort of coastal city.
The holiest temple of landfall.
Yeah.
So, and this is... so specifically, I think this is for the hometown, right? So, or the so... Like, I'm cool with y'all, like, basically situating yourselves in the first place that a kaiju stepped upon land.
This is, I mean, this is just so how landmarks work then?
This is for we're defining like your home territory, like however big that is. Like it's not necessarily all of Earth.
Okay.
It can be.
It's explicitly not all of Earth. Yeah, this is just like the safe place we live now. That like bandit attacks and kaiju attacks are slightly rarer than everywhere else, right? Because where we're going to pick this game up is like the first generation that's not constantly struggling to survive. So we just made things safe enough that we can start worrying about politics and religion and these things, right?
Right. It's no longer what am I going to eat today? It's what are we going to eat next week?
You can also, yeah, exactly.
What are we going to do with those crazy guys killing themselves with the kaiju?
Well, they've been so successful that the kaiju have moved elsewhere, I guess.
But yeah, bearing in mind that it being that safe is still only like as safe as a baseline D&D setting, right? Like it's there's still monsters and there's still like bad stuff out there and trouble to get into. Mm-hmm. You're just not constantly worried that you're going to be overrun and eaten all the time.
Okay. So yeah, I think the before landmark is still going to be the holy site is where they first stepped, where they were first made, first city destroyed and first people eaten, where the original pilgrims.
Is there a statue to the first person ever eaten by a kaiju?
I think it's more
it's
like
just
a group
Jamie.
grave.
It's more of a what?
It's a group grave or a group monument.
They've got to be the saints. They're like the apostles.
Or something.
The apostles like
There's a statue of like 20 people just like
I imagine there's like a church, like they probably found like a really perfect footprint in the ground, and they built a church around it.
Nice.
Doubting Thomas was the one who tried to run away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah, more landmarks.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. What's the next question?
So I have 3 landmarks to make. Is that how this works?
Yeah, you have 3.
Okay.
Hang on, I'm where do you want you want your church on the water?
It's got to be a coastal city or something.
Yep.
Probably mostly devastated, but maybe slowly being rebuilt.
This is the Church of Landfall.
That's a terrible idea.
Sure, that makes sense.
I think terrible idea means, of course, you have to do that.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna look something over real quick.
Oh, ooh, nice little icon for the church and everything.
Yeah, I'm working on it. So this is by water, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Like blue all over that way.
Oh, man, no, that's gonna be me think about it.
I know. I'm straying from my original idea because I like the idea of Cthulhu Fishmen, but
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at too. I was like,
We're all just like,
yeah.
oh, hi.
ooh, Cthulhu Fishmen.
Hello, group whose first move is being able to summon a fucking kaiju. Yes, I will look at this and I will examine you. I will give you your due.
So my next landmark, I'm not sure exactly how it's a location, but it's the second category is called the Fall, and the one I picked was the first cult Not a cult, to the religion. To revere the agents of the fall. So there's probably a hometown for probably the first messiah of my order. You're gonna add way too many icons to the map, and it's gonna start lagging, aren't you, Mike?
No, these are all in the background, so they shouldn't matter.
Okay. I just remember what happened to Dumbo-kun.
Oh wow, that's right. Well, if it happens, I'll just delete the water. All right. So what's this next thing that you're adding?
So I'm adding a hometown. Probably it's like a pilgrimage point, but there's a hometown for the first, like messiah or some first, first cultists to revere the agents of the fall. It's going to be somewhere like northwest of the Church of the Landfall. It'll probably just be a small city or a small town. I don't have a good name for it.
Okay. Of course, I search town and I get Cat's Town.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. We shall call it this land. And like no names or whatever are mandatory, right? We can change any of these at the right time.
And then finally, I have a threat. And I'm going to say that there is a cabal of fall cultists intent on following mysterious visions that don't basically align with my religion. So there's basically another heretical cult that's been that also sprung up.
So maybe it is called town.
Yeah, they're definitely a cult.
Yeah, that's a...
Yeah.
They use paprika. It's just
I think you mean paprikash.
the basest of heresies.
Yeah.
I like how we're all like verbally agreeing to this thing that Adam just gets to do. Like this is the thing that he just gets to do, right?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say that like the next step involves setting up relationships, so we might want to like stop and then like go around a circle and just have everybody do some stuff and then
Yeah.
working together.
Yeah, because I have to judge everyone pretty soon here.
Yeah, I mean, you
That's
also got to
true.
pick your lifestyle and your doctrine, right?
Well, I
You
just
can
in
either
the
do
order
now or
they-
later. Oh, in the order in the book, it's different.
Yeah.
The next one is history, which is probably going to involve other families.
Okay.
All right.
We
So
can move on then.
family 2. Who's ready to go?
I am. I'm going to do cultivators of the new flesh.
Switching the theme.
Yeah. Well, that's why he said that. I'm like, nope, that's good. I like this. Let's go. So
Nature's
yeah.
a tough old girl, but she can be a little
Okay.
slow.
Okay. So they want to get eaten by the kaiju. Are you eating the kaiju?
No.
You're
We are
making new
becoming
kaiju.
Yeah, they're flesh crafting onto the kaiju.
Yeah, the kaiju are clearly the example of what is survival now, so we need to become that.
Moss kaiju. All right. So was mankind able to protect the natural world from the worst excesses of the fall? Did
No.
the ecosystem have to change in strange and unexpected ways to survive? Or did the fall completely supplant the original ecosystem with new and alien life?
Nah, I'm going with number 2 there. The ecosystem had to change in strange and unexpected ways.
Megafauna.
Yep, megafauna, and like humanity has to adapt themselves, and clearly nature's not doing a great job of that, so we're gonna do it instead.
All right. So what are thy traditions?
All right, let's see the list here. Populous, I'm going to go with a carefully managed bloodline, but I mean, the goal here is that they're clearly trying to breed themselves better.
Right.
So it's less, I don't know, people with stock books is like...
Eugenics?
Yeah, they're self-eugenicizing, right?
Yeah, they're self-eugenicizing, though. Like, there's not going to be, like, a master breeder dude, but it's like everybody working together to try and create the best bloodline and try to incorporate these traits.
I'm imagining someone. Oh, so big me! I've developed a third arm.
I have kills. Clearly, I should have the most children.
He's clearly taped that arm on.
I'm so tempted to pick bucolic and laconic for style, but I just don't think I could do it. Like these hasty dudes are also super geneticists. So I'm probably gonna be wild and unrestrained.
But quiet, hasty geneticists.
Yeah.
Definitely the crazy-haired, flailing.
Well, and trials. What are those? Is that where I edit my genetic code?
So this is one part Doc Brown, right? And one part not Rick, but somebody else.
I like the idea that they've lowered their own reproductive or raised their own reproductive rate, lowered the gestation, so they can better fruit fly the next generation.
Oh God, that's
horrible.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And then for governance, I'm going to say a pantheon taking nature's aspects, because clearly those closest to the kaiju are the ones who should be in charge.
Wow. Okay. So you've got the mother lion equivalent of the matriarch. It's I don't know, the Mothra or whatever. Do you have memes well,
and someone might have compound eyes or something, and so clearly they're in touch with the moth kaiju.
Oh God.
Yep.
Oh God. So this is Space Florida. Okay, what are your landmarks?
I'm going to suggest a slightly different. I'm going to go with the ruins with deadly spores, but I'm going to insert the word mutagenic deadly spores.
Yeah, well, why not? Because mutagenic is an awesome word. I'm just going to toss that in there.
Yeah. I mean, clearly, mutagenic spores are exactly the kind of deadly spores everybody wants.
Oh, so what kind of ruins are these? Are these the fallen citadel? Are these collapsed skyscrapers? Is this a bombed out lab?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's the kind of lab that they bury underground.
So it's just like a vault door that leads to who knows where.
Yeah, the kind of place they did secret research or something like that to hide the secrets of the divinity. I mean the kaiju.
Awesome. No. Okay. All right. Where do you want this vault door?
Yeah. See, I think it should be somewhere nearby, but a little bit ways away, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna throw in a mundane thing. Is there's some pasture land inside the boneyard, and hidden within that, the vault has an access point.
So hidden within the pasture.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot that I can actually I forgot that objects can have names. I don't have to manually type the names below everything.
Yes.
So mutagenic runs beneath the pastures. Right. Now, where do you want it? Physically look at it? Do you care, or just somewhere?
No, I'm gonna say it's gonna be on the outskirts of town itself, because it's pasture land, so it's gonna be out beyond farm fields or whatever. It's nearby. But it's also probably something that my family is more involved in general. I think during the fall, I'm gonna again make a mild change to this. My option here is catacomb filled with failed genetic experiments. That seems completely appropriate.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say there's a nearby mountain, and they chill on the mountain in caves and stuff like that. And that's beyond the pasture area. It's probably linked to a river that leads to the sea.
For those backdoor visiting kaiju.
Yeah, No, they're. I don't know. I think they're supposed to be small. They're lesser kaiju.
Yeah, I imagine there's strata of kaiju, even if it's actually a continuum. There's okay, well, this one's as big as a house, and then this one's as big as a skyscraper, and then this one's footprint is what we're living in. These are the
All right. I'm going to need you to repeat some of that. And by some, I think I mean all.
Okay. We're going with the first option, the catacombs filled with failed genetic experiments. Except we're going to say it's going to be on a mountain, and like there's caves in the side of the mountain, or I think probably a mountain because it looks like we're kind of inland here. And, like cliffs make me think seaside, so yeah, let's say like a mountain with caves and stuff like that, but it is filled with failed genetic experiments.
Perfect. So here's the mountain, and this is filled with failed genetic experiments.
Is it bunkers and things from like before, or is it just like tunnels filled with?
I'm picturing like. Wow. That's harsh. Well, see, I think because that is supposed to reference the fall. I'm almost. It's like I'm almost feeling like implying that like the less failed are the origin of my family.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do you respect the failed ones as like, or do you like are they like embarrassments?
Well, I mean, like they're embarrassments as much as that like they are, you know, obviously a representation of a failure of what we're trying to do. But like, I don't know if they hold them personally responsible. They might pity them. That's probably a good way of saying it. Like, not like revile, but pity. You kind of have a little bit of sympathy, but you still don't want to invite them to dinner. Like how all the blue tiles became ocean right away.
And what is the threat?
There really is only one choice for me on there. It's got to be a pack of perfectly designed predators. And to throw a little history on that, I'm going to say that like we just recently cleared this area out and made it all, you know, civilized, for values of civilized. And I think part of that was pushing them out and, you know, driving them off for a while, decimating the population, and, well, the way population works, and it's not so cool that they've kind of adapted and started to rebreed and build up their population again.
I have used the predator as a stand-in for the predators.
Thoroughly appropriate.
This is a pack just literally predators.
So before we move on to the next person, I'm just going to note that I've revised my stat block back to if your religion was built around the forces of the fall, after reading some of the moves and the basic moves on how I want my people to act.
Okay.
So what your religion is what?
My religion is now based around forces of the fall, as opposed to being merged fragments of faiths from before. It's really just I'm actually going back to focusing on grasp versus reach.
Gotcha. Thank you. I will update that little bullet in there.
Oh yeah.
All right. Cool. Was there anything else for Jonathan, or do we need to have? I think we should have our third one now.
Yeah, because I hit the history thing, so again, I'm going to be talking to other people. So,
family 3.
Point.
Who's going next?
I don't know how you feeling, Matt.
I mean, I could go either way. I mean, I've got an idea, but I kind of want to see what you pull out first.
I think we're both sort of there.
I know.
I mean, I can jump in, sure. So here's my idea. I want to go with the uplifted children of mankind.
Yeah.
All right. But I'm going to be making a little bit of a change to some of their like flavor text, basically, because Evolutionary Children of Mankind are the like mutant animals, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, not necessarily mutants, right? They could be genetically modified. They could be robo animals, right? Like whatever.
Yeah. So my idea here is like before the fall. I don't know how far we're setting this, how far we pushed our technology was, but it apparently is pretty strong. The corporations of Earth looking for a cheap labor source, or controllable labor source, genetically engineered workers, essentially. And they took a bunch of animal DNA, grafted onto human DNA, to create things that weren't technically human.
So chimeras.
They could, yeah, chimeras. These are the chimeric peoples, right? And so they're not all one thing. Like there's like people with different types of animal DNA that exhibit different animal characteristics. They're all close enough that they most of them can like theoretically breed, crossbreed if necessary or if possible.
If necessary, fascinating. Okay.
Well, I mean, like the population size. Like think about if you have like a corporate workforce, a team of like chimeric dog people working your assembly line, right? There's only going to be like maybe 100 of them on the high end, right? The fall happens, a bunch of them probably die, so you're down to a non-breeding population or non-sustainable breeding population, right? So the only way they can get here is if they could breed with the cat people next door, right?
Truly a dizzying series of events.
I mean, I thought this through a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
Like cats and dogs.
Mostly my goal is to have like a rhino cat raccoon person at the end of this. But like I'm thinking right now they're all sort of tribed up in their like we used to work here and we all have like buffalo parts or something, right? And then like there'll be different groups. So right now they're fairly diasporic. They're non-aligned, trying to survive in small groups that don't necessarily see each other as people or as fellow versions of this thing. And so my hope is to put them together in some sort of like chimeric people's confederacy or something. So yeah, if my natural habitat was preserved and ready for my return, if you needed to adapt to the homeland's climate or biome, if you're struggling to survive in an ecosystem your ancestors would have no chance in. The boneyard is fairly... We haven't discussed it being like desert or tundra or anything
there's
like that.
Farmland.
Yeah, it's fairly temperate,
and,
right?
And it's oceanic, or what's the word where you're near an ocean? Coastal farmland.
Yeah.
So
well, we established there's definitely pasture land.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, pick anything between the two major latitudes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with if you needed to adapt to the climate or biome, just because like there's such a broad range, right, of species that I'm talking about. Reach class -1. So it's going to be reach 1, grasp 1, slight -1. We're not sneaky. We're just sort of there, doing our things. And next is tradition, right?
Yes.
Okay, populace. A menagerie bound by phenotypic similarity, a family of the same race, or designed species without clear parallel. I'm going to slightly modify a design species without clear parallel to a design species with clear parallels. Right? All of these peoples are parallel in design, if not in design intent.
Right.
Style: bold dyes and scarification, torn scavenged clothing, crude armors of an original design. I think most of these folks are still wearing like bits and pieces of their old uniforms. So at this point, I think it would be torn scavenged clothing.
Okay.
Right? Like a lot of the logos have been torn off, and like
I tongue-in-cheek put down Chimeric People's Republic, but that seems to be fitting.
Chimeric People's Republic?
Yeah.
See, I was actually going to go with the Confederacy of Chimeric Peoples just to get the Soviet Union Sasa Ra thing going on.
Nice.
But that's me. And that's just sort of, I don't think it really matters one way or the other.
So can you repeat that so I get it down properly? Yeah.
The Confederacy of Chimeric Peoples. I actually need another C in there, but we'll roll with this for right now.
Cloned, created,
Collected.
Ooh, collective.
The Collective Confederacy of Chimeric Peoples. Nice.
Yes.
Rolls off the tongue.
It does. Yeah, so I figure like some of them have been trying to organize with each other. Like, okay, so we have like these weird kaiju warp strippers and like these geneticists that are going to fuck up our shit if we don't deal with them. And like they're looking at all these threats of like these organized groups and they're trying to put themselves together, but they're not yet. And they're trying to make it work. Which means, so as of right now, I think it's a loud anarchic democracy. But I think that might change later on as things become more stable. Because it's just like a bunch of like part animal humans yelling at each other trying to get something done.
Well, this is also like the first unsteady attempts in becoming civil.
Exactly.
And you know, once you get your rules of law down, you can go 2 legs good or 4 legs good, 2 legs better.
Exactly. Okay, and so that is landmarks now?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I believe that you need to choose a before, a fall, and a threat.
So my options for before are the ruins of a large zoo.
Perhaps the large zoo is just like terrifying to your peoples.
I think it would. Yeah, like that's like the place that that's the place we never go. Like that is just like we cannot.
Right, we didn't go to zoo home.
A research facility haunted by failed experiments, or a museum of extinct species and biomes.
I mean, those last two both like kind of slided. Like I don't know if a research facility haunted by failed experiments is too much like a cave filled with failed genetic experiments.
Is it? Yeah. Is it too on the? Well, so what I'm a little is like, are we now sort of getting into the origin of the kaiju? Like, there's so much genetic modification going on here now. I do
or the people's turned to genetic modification in order to fight back. Or to survive, right? Like, there's so many options there.
I think I will go with the research facility haunted by failed experiments. So I feel like that has some serious crossover potential. And I think that's actually up in Cultist Town.
Makes sense. I need like sleep after this, but this is fine.
Ooh, the fall is dark.
Come on, I dropped some test tubes on there. You gotta show up eventually.
So for the fall, I have the site of a genocidal massacre, urban areas used to hide from persecution, or strange new habitats growing in the ruins. And I think what I'm going to say is urban areas to hide from prosecution, because wherever we are, it used to be a city, and we've been like hiding from the eugenicists in the ruins.
Ooh.
And the super predators, the eugenicists and the super predators.
Get a little smaller, put this parentheses or something. Figure out how that works later. And your threat is
Is ruins, is urban areas used to hide from persecution.
Okay.
So like
And what?
city ruins somewhere back here. Either, I guess we could put them on the shore. We could make it a coastal city.
The fall. It's actually part of or within the Church of Landfall is the ruins.
Yeah, like the Church of Landfall is like inside the ruins we've been hunting.
Well, yeah, because it's just one footprint.
Yeah, there's a lot of ruins.
Oh yeah, this was a big city before. I mean, it attracted the first kaiju.
That kaiju came up here for a reason, right?
But that was like the thing that in my mind was like anytime a city gets too big, the kaiju come back.
Oh Jesus!
Ooh.
Oh boy. Oh, Gurren Lagann.
Okay. And then for the last one for the threat, carrion birds smart enough to herd and harvest livestock.
What's wrong, crows?
A locust swarm so wide that famine is sure to follow. Or extreme weather upsetting the food chain. I think we go with carrion birds smart enough to herd and harvest livestock, just because I'm not planning on being bird people. I'm planning on being mostly like mammal people. So like having other versions of us, like these are the bird chimeras that we don't associate with because they like are mean and too smart.
And they're all like, caw, caw, fuck, I'm dead.
There were some great threats.
Alright, and these are carrion birds. Smart enough to herd and harvest livestock. Are the people the livestock?
I think maybe they are. Yeah, I think maybe there's specifically, if not a cult, like a group of people that are herded by these birds, or like their lifestyle is the lifestyle for whatever value that is like maintained as herd animals for these birds.
All right.
It might even be like a version of us that's being herded by the birds. I don't know.
Just clones of you, in fact. Or cow people that the birds are herding.
Oh God, cow people.
Sorry, there's no cow level. Sorry.
All right, so fine, we'll do lamb people. They're gonna have a bad day. And Adam turns off the stream.
Yep. Close window. Walk away.
No, that's it. We're done. All right, so Matt, I believe we are on to you.
Yeah. I was torn between 3 different ones. I think I'm actually going to go with Stranded Starfarers. I like the idea of the Chimera people being closest to so, yeah. The aliens that got stuck and can't get home.
That's awesome. There's a lot of precedents for alien folks in the Godzillaverse too.
Absolutely. So this is perfect. So, I chose for my startup the homeland or the boneyard is going to be suitable for human life, we'll say, or for a given value of human life at this point. So, going to be pretty sneaky at this point.
Thank you.
I like the concept that your spaceship was like a collector of alien xenoforms, and you were going down. So in order to gain lift, you injected all the kaiju into the ocean, but it didn't work.
What happened was they weren't kaiju at first. They were these little itty bitty things, and then they were kind of like dropping those dinosaur sponges into the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and they had a bad reaction to dihydrogen monoxide.
Yeah, we didn't realize. We thought it was methane. That's what the atmosphere reading said.
Zach, you're muted.
Yeah.
So
we were a field trip. Like you were here on like a school field trip.
This was supposed to be a science experiment.
I can just see this is a species on the verge of understanding genetic manipulation. What did they just do?
And some like prankster kids just like dropped kaiju seeds down.
Kaiju seeds.
Yeah, this is the interstellar equivalent of like the firecrackers in the mailbox or something.
I also love how all of us are basically like, yeah, we helped fuck up the world. Yeah.
I did nothing wrong. I just want to point that out.
Yes. Anyways, so yeah, no, this is fine. This is great. So we're here, like
making the best of a bad situation.
Something just slapped our ship out of the air, or like we ran out of fuel. I don't know what happened, but we're here for better.
One of the kids on the field trip stopped for a snack, and they accidentally left some crumbs on the ground, which turned into Kaiju. And then they smacked your ship, and you couldn't take off or whatever.
Just like in Futurama, how the cracklings are the little aliens.
Yeah.
Right?
Mama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I am Sir. What is your populace like?
I was thinking about that. Like, I want to go with biomechanical cephalopods, but I think in homage, in beautiful, sweet homage, since we already have chimeric people, they're going to be vaguely humanoid, basically people in silver suits, a la Godzilla.
So the first time I was reading through this, I read it as arachnoid boulders, and I was very confused.
That's fair.
I see someone else has seen Apollo 18.
Biomechanical octopus are pretty amazing too.
It is, but we already have kind of animal people. If we didn't have those, I would absolutely have gone with that.
Space spiders sound awesome to me.
Space spiders are pretty cool.
Space spiders are solid, but I'm not a Spider-Man. If you don't know anything else about me, so
Okay.
You don't do whatever a spider can.
No, I do not. Far from it.
I mean, he does have great power, though.
Yeah, but I'm not responsible at all.
What's your style? Do you have bulky life support? Are you bristling with weaponry, or do you have nanogel suits? I mean, like, 60s chic is also a thing you could put down here.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna go. I'm thinking I'm just gonna keep the silver jumpsuits as the thing, because that's just
iconic silver jumpsuits.
Completely like going over the head, so only the face is exposed.
yeah. Do they have hair? We'll never know because
you can't see it. We don't take it off unless we're in our own atmosphere.
I like how
breathe.
I like how you're running around in silver spacesuits, but you have a really good slight score, so nobody thinks it's weird.
Well, yeah,
it's just those guys again.
Okay, so the neighbors are evangelical cult of zealous converts that wear outlandish and practical and ceremonial wear, folks with wild and unrestrained a style, torn, scavenged clothing. I mean, iconic silver jumpsuits is. Those guys have a thing.
It's a fashion choice, but like, yeah.
All right, so who rules your family?
I think we're going with decentralized cells bound by alien moral code.
Awesome.
Basically, like we kind of tribalized after the ship got busted, and so like we have our own blue-orange morality. But it works. It works for a given value.
Do you call it Paragonism and Renegade?
Maybe.
I just, for some reason, couldn't. We were talking about the cephalopods earlier. That's why the Mass Effect got stuck in my head. All right, so you now get to impact the map a bit.
Yep.
Would you like to choose a landmark from the before?
Yeah, before evidence of ancient alien contact, a secret vault in prison for aliens, which in and of itself is really damn funny, but I think we've gone to that well a couple times. So, or the mega project to reach the stars. I kind of want to go with evidence of alien contact here. It just feels so right.
Is it like a radioscope? Is it crop circles?
We have a crop circle. It turns out they were right all along.
I just like the idea like they parked outside of SETI or something like that. Yeah, what do you want? Stop calling us.
Well, like, is the crop circle like a dead drop for communications since you're like decentralized? They're trying to. Somebody wants to get a hold of you. They leave you a crop circle.
The secret is to make you make the crop circles big enough that you can see them.
Yeah, I mean, this is from the before. This is how it was. Yeah.
So this is like happening all over the runes from Jonathan's mutagenic spores. They're, like putting crop circles right on his front door.
Well, it's just like we saw that they were getting close to breaking through on genetic manipulation, and we're like, stop, we need to tell you something, and you guys are just like, oh, look at those stupid cheese making crop circles all the time.
But that's the thing, right? In order to so they were really about to have a breakthrough with those spores, and what you did is you came in and you rewrote them to make crop circles. Whatever they were going to do, now they make crop circles. And
we were trying to warn them. And it didn't work. They can't.
I just they make crop circles and a couple side effects, but the crop circles is the important part.
Are you going with crop circles then, or are we going to go with something else?
No, I'm good with crop circles. Actually, I'm kind of sold on it at this point. It's ridiculous.
You're really trying to print out a message on the grass, but you set font to like 72 and just messed everything up.
Look, I didn't know you guys didn't make wingdings your universal language, okay?
Every computer had it.
It's true. Every single one. We did a scan before we came.
Yeah. So that works. So from the fall, the crater where the Planetary Defense Center used to be, a vast alien ship intact but out of reach, or a former internment littered with bones. I'm gonna go with the vast alien ship intact but out of reach.
Is it in the ocean?
Ooh.
It could be in the ocean. It might be in orbit. It might be just our lander just got screwed up.
Orbit would be cool.
Like it's a second moon.
Oh wow, nice. All right, that's cool. There we go. So this is your alien ship, just out of reach.
We can just get to orbit. We did this. We've traveled millions of light years, and we just can't. We can't even get off this lousy class 2.
We'll have space. Text on the map layer. Space.
Okay, threats.
They all sound bad.
They all sound awful. The record-expanding alien ecosystem signals that destroy the mind of those who try to interpret them are self-replicating machines carrying on a long-forgotten mission. I mean, we can go grade cool. I kind of like the idea, given that we're already talking about this being just a kid's science experiment gone wrong, basically. The idea of it being some of the ecosystem leaks out and is starting to propagate itself. Like, for right now, we're in human safe territory, but it might not be that for terribly longer.
Nice.
Like, we'll be comfy. I don't know about the rest of it.
And that's fine. If they really want to survive, they'll evolve.
They did it before. I'm sure they could do it again.
I mean, they could just change their bodies, right? Their genetic code. That's what they do.
Genetic manipulation.
All right, crop circles. It's a little smaller crop circles. Crop those up at the farmlands. And then finally, your threat is the a rapidly expanding alien ecosystem.
Yup.
Red fungus.
Yeah, we had the pesticide on the ship, I think. Fungicide.
Oops, that's a bird. All right. So, are we ready to share some bonds? That's not what they're called here. Same concept.
History.
And treaties, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. It's the creepiest fungus. The devil fingers. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that. Zach, you said oh.
No, I was reacting to the name. I'm not directly familiar.
Devil's finger. I'll upload in a second. All right, so let's go back to Adam then.
Yes. So, for my history, I get to judge each other family. I either deem you to be righteous or corrupt. If you are righteous, you will have to say what you did to win me over, and I give them one treaty. If I deem you to be corrupt, I take one treaty on them, and they must say what happened to make your family condemn them. So, start with Jonathan. You have the cultivators.
Yep.
I think your ways are slightly misguided, but you clearly revere the kaiju. So I think you are righteous.
Right.
So yeah, you can say what you did to win me over.
I think like we supply one of the 7 secret spices.
Okay.
And like it's like a plant or something like that we secretly cultivate for you, and that like we bred to make sure that like the kaiju like it and it attracts them. So
Aha, it's bread. Now we know.
The holy mason oil. Zach.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to say you're corrupt.
Okay.
You're clearly some sort of fallen creatures of the, So you have to say what happened to make your family condemn them.
So I have to say it?
Yes.
All right. I think we killed a little kaiju.
Okay. So I'm taking a treaty on you.
Okay. Yeah, I think some small group of us that was like living in the ruins. There was a baby kaiju that like broke out of its egg and clambered up on shore. Like, yeah, no, and we beat it to death. And by the time you got there, it was not able to eat you.
Okay.
Generally, we have a zero kaiju as well. So
your kaiju policy.
yes. I feel like it's something we ought to have, right? We ought to have a policy. There's a protocol. I think on some weird level, we're going to be the stand-in for the natural world, right?
Yeah.
So we have to hate the kaiju on some level, at least in mass. I'm sure there will be individual members that like join your church and like do all that stuff, but like, yeah,
All can be forgiven. Matt. I don't know how well known it is of your involvement in the kaiju, or the bringing the bearers of the kaiju.
I mean, this far down, we probably know. Do we tell you? Probably not.
I mean, do you want to win me over?
I mean, we could win you over and say we made the kaiju.
The other thing you could do though is if you made the kaiju, you probably know how to like track them and predict to some degree when they're going to show up, right? Like
That's true. We give
you
them
could be feeding them
kaiju broadcasts or forecasts.
Okay.
Exactly. You could be feeding them data, their like the forecast for their high holy days.
Yeah, so I think if you haven't told us or haven't claimed to be the source of kaiju, but you do provide us intel, then you are righteous. If you commit the heresy of claiming that you brought the kaiju here, then you're definitely corrupt.
I think we tried that before in the past and it didn't work. So we just resigned ourselves to, okay, fine, if you want to go get eaten, here's how this works. Okay,
So for now you're righteous then, and you get a treaty on me.
fantastic.
What is the name of your organization? Like actually,
I was gonna. I was trying to think of something interesting, but I'm terrible at naming things, characters and organizations alike.
I just googled Godzilla cult and the first thing that comes up is Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah.
Go Godzilla.
It's like the only thing that comes up too. Damn.
Yeah,
The Church of Godzilla is a thing apparently.
The Church of Godzilla.
Oh wow.
There's even a Christianity Today article about Godzilla. Okay, yeah.
Also, the phrase kaiju cult probably. There's a whole kaiju cultist thing that exists in Pacific Rim.
Yeah. That's unsurprising.
Don't know why, but I like that symbol.
Mhm.
Which one?
The one that was just in chat. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just found that looking for Kaiju or Godzilla
The EXIF.
religion. I've never seen the thing it's from though, so.
Apparently this is the Ghidorah cult?
Sort of. They're Planet of the Monsters is on Netflix and it's pretty good.
Is it?
Alright.
If you like ridiculous monster movie, yeah. It's humans try to return to Earth and find out that it's been so long since they left that kaiju are the dominant life form now.
That was actually what I was thinking of playing the first time around. I was gonna be like, I didn't know it was gonna be Starfarers or like the Kaiju Hunters, but I wanted to like be someone who be a group of people that went away and did their thing and then came back and like, what the hell, you guys?
And for 1 century, and you just trash the place.
It's almost like Star Trek Godzilla. It's fascinating. Anyways.
So I feel like I've just been blatantly copied the kaiju cultists from Pacific Rim, even though I've never seen the movie.
I mean, I feel like there's gonna be certain beats that you hit, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of.
I also really like the red nun costume too.
That was just covering the true path.
Yep. Mhm.
What if your religion was informed by them?
Oh, jeez.
That's your holy book right there. Something about, Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
Comic book.
I mean, you could just straight up call yourselves like the Pacific Rim or something.
And then we're like in Boston or something.
It's the city on the Pacific Rim. That was a terrible Boston accent.
I think we're doing some like the red path or something.
Nice, the red path.
There we go.
Flows to salvation.
Yeah.
Down all their gullets.
Okay, That's so. Do we want to stop at my history and go around the table?
Sure. Let's see. Where is my sheet with history stuff?
All the way at the bottom. If you're in the
Okay. Basically, I get a treaty on everybody because I'm awesome.
Yes.
Also, I make really cool stuff. And then I have questions. So, which of you has made agreements with us that might just end up saving mankind and the planet?
Well, I'm saving your immortal souls, so I don't.
That's definitely not the same thing. That is definitely not the same thing. No.
You're saved in the embrace of the kaiju.
Yeah, whose perspective is this from, though? Like yours?
Saved in the embrace of
Yeah,
the kaiju.
this is the answer to my question.
Yeah.
You made agreements with us that might just end up saving mankind and the planet.
I mean, it seems like the powerful aliens would be the obvious answer for that.
Yeah. With the dark horse being either the group that's super into kaiju and can maybe get you some genetic information, or the group of chimeric individuals who are adapted to survive, right?
I can see an answer to all of you.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe go to the other questions and see if they.
Yeah,
fit
we'll
with
come
you.
back.
Yeah.
We'll circle back.
All right. I only have one other question, which is,
Oh.
which of you supplies us resources vital for cultivation?
Do we work in the farms? Like,
so horribly perfect.
It really is, right? Like there's like a few different, like, we came with those skills. We came with agricultural skills. We like.
Yeah, the rabbit people working the farms.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You
That's low-key awful, but also awesome.
yes, it is.
Yeah, the one thing I like about these uplift is like, yeah, you in these like
All right.
that was messed up sort of situations.
So you provide us. I'm gonna say that's labor.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can make it equitable, sort of.
Yeah. Well, and like, because like, what I don't want to do is be like, well, you're naturally bred for it. Because like, I can totally see them saying that.
Mhm. Yeah, no, this is just the natural order reasserting itself based on your genetics, clearly.
Well, and I definitely think like the family helps you. Like, you're kind of viewed as like the younger cousin or something. So like, assistance that you want, they provide to you with like genetic whatever. You know, if like something was left unclean or something. You know what I mean? You know where I'm going with this? If you have issues with like the way the genetics breeding out, like we would offer assistance in return for that.
They want your mutants for biomass.
Yeah, like
I'm viewing this as a friendly relationship where it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, of course, you know.
it can't. I mean, we're going to be looking. We are like bearing in mind that like my people are not one unified group
Mhm.
yet, right? I think by and large, there's probably a certain skepticism towards any sort of organized people that look like humans. But like, I think if it was a working, like a decent labor situation, we could probably get over.
Yeah. Well, and remember, I'm going to look less and less like human as time
It's
goes
true.
on.
It's true, which is definitely not going to make us think about the people who made us, who were also terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get one treaty on me.
Yes.
All right, so that goes us back to the first one of if it's aliens or if it is our friendly space star people.
How does the question go again?
The question is, which of you has made agreements with us that might just end up saving mankind and the planet?
I kind of want to go with the cultists here, just because that feels so funny as the answer.
I mean, I'm fine. Yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
All right.
I mean, that goes into the whole the two of you kind of play nicely together too.
I'm trying to decide. do we want to try to figure out what the agreements are? I mean, obviously, some of it's going to be we offer assistance to you in seasoning matters.
Flavor crystals.
I really like. In my head, this is original recipe kaijuism, right? And then there's like the spicy kaijuism that is heretical.
Georgia hot part kaijuism.
Popeyes kaijuism.
If you believe your evolution and adaptation to your kaiju path to kaijuism is the way to save mankind, then there's probably some sort of we bring certain genetic material back from our pilgrimages.
Wow, you bring the sacrifice, the ritual sacrifice, which devoured you. You take an equal amount of flesh in return.
No, I didn't say flesh. It could be other things like byproducts.
Exactly. There's genetic material produced.
Yeah, like scales or slime or something like that, and like
yes,
they provide
slime.
that. Yeah.
That's what we're thinking of. Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, let me have my delusions, okay?
Just a big old sack of Godzilla poop shows up.
Oh man, balancing the scales though is a phrase too, right? So.
All right. And I did decide on a name, which is actually just going to use a family name of Similius. I'll toss that into the chat.
Oh, okay.
Which is definitely not fake Latin.
Well, yeah, it's also definitely not like real close to Simic, which in my head is like crazy genetic manipulation. Yeah. Which I'm sure they came from the same place, right? Like I'm sure Simic was informed by Similius.
I typed self-improvement into Google Translate, and I'm like, it came back as Samelius, and I'm like, that's actually kind of a reasonable family name, so we're going to use that.
Nice. Adam, I actually missed it. Did you have a family name?
The Red Path. I'll do for now.
Red Path.
KF Colt.
Still KFC.
It's claw licking good.
You refer to your congregation as buckets.
You pass around the collection bucket,
Buckethead.
looking for people parts. Oh well, we went to a left turn there. All right, so Zach, do you have you're the collected confederacy of chimeric peoples?
Yes.
Do you have?
I do have some questions, and I think they each have a fairly obvious answer. Let's see if you guys can guess. Okay. Which of you came to our rescue and helped us build a community? Okay. Which of you is related to those who uplifted us?
Ooh.
And which of you hunted us as animals, realizing their mistake far too late?
Oh, delicious!
Dash shame about that.
I feel like it's pretty straightforward, right? Like, maybe now that we've got the deal with the eugenicists, with the Similius clan, but maybe not. But like, which of you is related to those who uplifted them? That is clearly the Similius clan, right?
Yeah.
So tell us how you found out. How we found out. Well, we found out because we worked for you, and like, you guys love to talk about that stuff all the time.
By the time that we made ourselves
and
better.
uncontrolled.
Well, and is it well known in my group that that's true?
I'll bet that at the very least, when one of your people that's in the know about that stuff, because I imagine there have to be like auxiliary family members that aren't wild-eyed scientists, right?
Well,
but, like,
yeah.
But when one of the wild-eyed scientists gets near one of us, they get very excited because we are clearly a product of the thing that they do. Right?
Start taking tissue samples.
Well, and like, I can definitely see that there's going to be like traditional lines of research inside the family of different, like, little sub factions, and so like one of those definitely knows. Which you can. All right, so those who uplifted us, tell us how you found out, and they explain their relationship to your progenitors. Okay. Because like my saying is that like one of those groups knows, and like very obviously, like the core of the family, or at least one of them, was like a lab tech in that old horrible thing before the fall. Where like possibly what they were working on were the uplifted, proletariat there.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
But like, I think like the family as a whole weren't all like involved in that directly. Like some of them were probably like administrative staff and shit that were not really aware of that. So the question is how you found that out.
Well, are you like your family? What was the genesis of it? Right? Are you like the Semelius Corporation that is just like come down through time as this thing, or
I've handed down my genetic tampering legacy from father to son.
Well, and like I think it was like the population that like maintained that lab, right? So like all the people around there, they just initially banded together, and like some of the breeding and some of the traditions just spread throughout the whole group. But like one family in particular definitely knows of that relationship. And they obviously they told you. Well, and that goes back to what the part you're supposed to create there.
Yeah. Well, also, would you have had janitorial staff?
Yeah, I am thinking like there was like almost like a small little compound to do this because it was supposed to be secret, right?
Yeah. Well, like my question is, would there have been chimeric people with you when we met you that were like, oh yeah.
Oh, and like as far as is there a way to say it? Because like what I want to say is that like that they were actually different wasn't well understood, because like in the fall like the genetic weirdness started happening to everybody in the family. But there was this small portion of it that started off weird, but like that got lost in all of the chaos.
Yeah, well, I mean, I imagine like depending on how many generations it's been, like there was definitely some like drift and combinatoric stuff at the very least before all the direct experimentation started. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that family talked to your family and like started to hook back up. And probably have some kind of conflicted loyalties at this point in time.
Yeah, I'll bet they probably do. Yeah.
Yep. All right, that sounds cool.
Yeah, that works for me. That works for me for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna say that the cultists, the Church of Latter-day Kaiju, came to our rescue and helped us build a community. So I think because we already established that we sort of occupy the ruins around your high cathedral, right? So I say how. So we were there. We were trying not to get hurted by crows, and you helped us. You say when this happened.
Oh, when this happened? I imagine it's pretty early after the fall.
Okay.
I imagine that was probably, otherwise, if it was like, if I'm saving you from the initial herding of crows, it's probably, I saved this particular faction that was close to me in its ruins, not necessarily all of them, but...
Yeah, so you saved us from murder by crows.
And murder of crows.
Yeah, okay. So you get 2 treaty on it. Above and beyond the 1 I think you already have. Like, you have a lot of left. Which I'm not... a little worried about. Little worried about. A little bit. And then that brings us to our last entrance here, who hunted us like animals, realizing their mistake too late. I get 2 treaty on the aliens. Do the aliens have a name yet, Matt?
The Fawn. Faune.
Faune, okay.
Is it always the, or just fawn?
No, the Fawn.
The fawn.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. No, like you were... Yeah. You've been here... You probably, like, needed to eat Like,
yeah, we didn't even think about it. It's like they look like the animals enough. It's fine.
Yeah, or like you just like you were just running your ship over the top and like scanning for life forms, right? Because like you're not like maybe there's a taboo in your culture against eating sapients, and you're just like, okay, we'll find some of the local fauna, right? And we'll just like we need to eat, so we'll eat those, and then like you ate some of the cow people.
Yeah.
And
These poor
like,
cow people.
A lot of cow people.
They are still considered a delicacy. However, some people, some of the fawn, feel kind of weird about it. Like
they're still considered a delicacy. Is a phrase I'd like to consider here.
we're coming back to that for sure. I don't know if you've met angry rhino people, but yeah.
No, there's absolutely some history there, which we have to conveniently forget when we meet.
All right, cool. So that's me, I think.
I have the weirdest browser search history.
Playing game nights. What the hell?
Yeah, only on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Upload cow people. Done.
God. Okay.
Here we are. Okay.
I do like one of the dominant bloodlines that we have established. The two that we know for sure exist are crows and cows. Crows.
Yeah.
And cows.
Oh yeah. If anything's gonna survive, the crows are going to survive.
That is some interesting pictures you got for the cow people, Mike.
It was the first and only link that I was going to drop into this spread.
I was going to say that does sound like a combination of words that could be rife.
I do not suggest it.
I would just go with like Diablo. There's so many cow people in Diablo.
Or like weren't there like cow people in WoW for a while?
Torrent! Oh, I should have looked for Torrent instead. That would have been so much less bad.
I don't understand. No, honestly, actually, that was probably for the best. You probably still would have run into some landmines. Slightly less, but still.
All right, so we've got Zax. Matt, do you have a Starfarer history to establish?
I do indeed. So the first one is, which one of you controls a resource critical to our survival?
Silver jumpsuits.
Control all the nylon in the world.
I was going to say silver jumpsuits are only produced in kaiju excrement.
Well, they can't be digested, so they just pass out naturally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can see it coming from us of like some kind of, oh man, do we cultivate some kind of alien plant for you?
Ooh.
Do you cultivate the red fungus that's accidentally been spreading?
Well, I mean, does it need cultivation if it's been spreading?
No. It's
No,
good.
Right.
Is there a version of the thing that you need to eat?
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's we have like a quote unquote tamed version that we had a certain amount left. So we approached you and we're like, look, we normally don't like to have to do this.
I imagine you run like an alien Starbucks in every single town.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Yeah, and we're like, here, we're going to give you this material. It might help you, but you need to be making it for us. And we will owe you.
We've got another silver jumpsuiter. You just walk in, oh, we know what you want. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me. It's just like, it's part of the secret stuff that we cultivate for people.
You're just like everybody's dealer.
I mean, yeah.
That's the gig, right?
All right.
Yeah, okay. So, which one of you did we save from certain doom with our technology?
I feel like that's...
Oh, man.
Go ahead, Adam.
Because you know what the last one is, don't you?
I don't know what the last I haven't read, but...
I do. And it involves probing cows.
For scientific purposes, damn it.
I feel like from certain doom is an amazing words when the entire point of Adam's group is to die.
That's incredibly true.
That can tie into one of my picks later on.
Oh, okay.
So you could have provided certain alien tech that helps me propagate my religion.
Ooh,
Oh.
that sounds horrifying. Let's dig into that.
So we allow you to basically replace your ranks faster than you lose them, is what I'm hearing probably.
Yeah.
Well, is it cloning or is it something much more nefarious?
No, definitely more nefarious.
Oh yeah.
I love the theological implications. Like, okay, so to purify your soul, we need to feed you to a kaiju, but we're going to like artificially make you and pop you out in order to feed you to a kaiju. So we're just making souls to be
No. We're going to give people these nice little tiaras that they put on to feel like they want to jump into kaiju mouths.
Yeah, no, they're going to wear the special crown because they are chosen.
Yeah, you'll see when I do the rest of my family
Yeah.
build. But yeah, so that's that. I can see that certainly being
It's
the way
not
that you help
ominous.
me save destruction.
It's not ominous at
Save
all.
from
You'll see when I do the
running
rest of my
yourself
family
out
book.
too fast.
Yep.
Yeah. Not ominous. No.
Okay, yeah, so got it. Last one. Which of you did we secretly experiment on in the past?
Everybody's favorite dog people to kick around.
So, like, is this when stuff like this kind of naturally falls into place? I'm curious: is that incredibly good game design or just incredibly fortunate people meshing?
I mean, part of this is I think we're all building into it. There's also like you could have had NPC families in there that we could have like been doing this with instead, but like we all kind of work together to build this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have this weird symbiosis between
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I injected the weird families later, but yeah.
Okay, so that part's done.
Yeah, it's pretty.
All right. The next step after history is doctrine.
Yes.
So let's jump back on up to who's the first one? Oh, Adam, Servants of the One True Fall, aka the Red Path. Do you have?
Yes. So I have the doctrines. Let's see where is this character sheet? I had it. Oh, there it is. So I have 3 doctrines I could pick from. The faith is mother, the faith is father, which gives me some sort of bond of faith between all of my followers. It's because it's more than natural. When family members are in deep distress, other members somehow know. The Canticle of Illumination. When you enter a hostile community, you'll not be harmed just so long as you provide some aid. And the Cleansing Fires of Purity. When you fight the horrors of the fall, the wounds you inflict will never heal. I went with the faith is mother, the faith is father, because having weird, creepy psychic links with the rest of the faith sounds like fun. And I'll probably just burn through all of these because they're pretty quick.
Yeah.
Then next comes lifestyle. I have either nomadic, dispersed, or settled. It just basically, do we keep on moving around? Are we just spread far and wide, or do we have a good community bond? And I went with dispersed, which gives me the faith has been spread far, and you'll always find lodging and food with other faithful in a settlement. Next, I didn't do those. Oops. So apparently I have resources next. Pick 2 surpluses and take the rest as needs. I think our resources are definitely... Let's see. We'll just do leadership and recruits. We're a people-based community. So we have the resources of leadership and recruits. And we need artisans, land, and safety. I don't know why we need any of those things, but apparently we do. We need someone to make fancy artwork for us.
You have to have somebody to craft the tiaras.
Yes. So, assets. My characters can always have a small holy book or a religious symbol. I imagine we have, I hope it's a good word. In addition, I picked 3 for my family. I have the 4 categories are how you fight, defenses, how do you travel, or how are you defended, how do you travel, what useful expertise can you draw on? So the first one I wanted was expertise evangelists. They are whatever this is. I don't know what this is yet. They have one quality, and it's communicating with outsiders. I have no idea what any of that means, but this seems like it fits right in. I did not choose a form of travel, so apparently we just go by feet. My defenses are blessed heirlooms, which means my followers are regal and armored. I'm guessing these are probably fragments of kaiju that they wear that have been blessed by the kaiju. And weapons, which is the one where the aliens help me. How do I fight with infectious madness?
Oh.
Which is a ranged aberrant move or attack or something. I have no idea what these modifiers mean.
It's like the what's the fungus that makes ants feed themselves to birds?
Yeah.
You brain whammy cordyceps them and they try to feed themselves to kaiju.
Okay, so I got infectious madness, blessed heirlooms, and evangelists, right?
Yes. And then we can go into servant moves, because that's another one we have to pick. So I have to take Faith of the Fallen and one other. Faith of the Fallen, your family has a faith they cling to more ardently than life itself. Choose one tenant, which I didn't do. I did. So there's 5 choices. The restoration and healing of humanity, which, whatever. The protection of the unfortunate. Travel to a pristine and unspoiled land. And then I had to choose between the renunciation of the before or transformation into gods. Ooh. So we're going to go with transformation into gods, which might explain why we still tolerate the cultivators, even though they don't follow the exact way. And so then there's a bunch of stuff that goes along with that. I'm not going to get into it right now. And then I had to pick one more move. So I could have an Inquisition. I could have the ability to spread plagues. I could also sacrifice my hordes of followers for various bonuses, none of which I picked, even though sacrifice seems to fit in, because I really wanted a voice in the wilderness. This one, when your family condemns a powerful figure or organization in a public place, roll grasp. On a hit, they're now counted as corrupt. Do some dice, and I can do things like receive grateful donations, gain surplus. The crowd delivers a representative of your foe to you. The audience riots, forcing your enemy to retreat. So it's kind of once again going along the wandering evangelical group, denouncing people in public, which flavor-wise sounded much more fun than anything else. I think that's all the picks I had to do for my family.
All right, well, that certainly is a thing.
Yeah, so many things.
Faith is a hell of a drug. All right, well, Jonathan.
Yeah, all right. So, doctrine. Yeah, there's really only one choice here: sculpting a new humanity. It's just like, yep, that's it. We're good. So whenever my family creates or tames a new species, they inherit one of its minor cosmetic traits. What is next? Lifestyle. Lifestyle is again nomadic, dispersed, or settled. I'm thinking settled is what I've been describing so far. Yeah, so your family's farms and facilities are extensive. You can work on the creation of multiple new surpluses simultaneously, which I'm sure means a thing. I don't know what that is, though. Resources, I gotta figure out what the heck resources I'm taking. I think it's gonna be barter goods and lands, but I'm not positive. I have to actually figure out what they do.
They're mostly just named currencies you trade for things. Right?
Well, yeah, but the problem is that like the cultivator move culture uses them, so I have to figure that out. But let's see, assets. Your characters can always have a friendly pet of some kind. Ooh, in addition to 3.
Wait, are these axe people?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, just like a tiny cat version of it.
Well, because like, all right, I have to take this to the heck of me. How do you fight trained attack animals? Ranged many.
Give them my pretties.
Well, it's like I picture
Flying
little
monkeys.
baby dinosaurs and stuff.
Flying monkeys.
Tiny kaiju.
So pick 3. So you're gonna pick one of these that you don't take.
Yeah, that's why I didn't get how do you travel, basically.
Yeah, I really kind of want to take travel. How do you travel mobile research station? That just sounds so freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's got a medbay, and you're on the experimentation stuff.
Yeah, so like I'm totally gonna take that. I don't think I'm gonna take how are you defended? We're not gonna. Who needs defense? That's
Nearly
crazy talk.
pristine lab coats.
I was gonna say they got
love that.
really, really shiny lab coats.
Then what useful expertise can you draw on? And I want all of these.
I mean, it's got to be surgeons.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with surgeons on that one. And then this is their move. So obviously I get culture, which means we trade surpluses to get cool shit, and then get other surpluses as well as that surplus. And then the last move is gonna have to be evolutionary leap. When you use culture, characters gain one of these bonuses, which is like, some cool weapon-y thing, some like food that makes you tough, or a group of animals with simian level intelligence. They have 2 quality, one of the following specialties. So more attack stock. In addition, your family improves themselves over generations. Every time the age turns, pick one physical trait you've encountered, and your family gets it. So I have to take that. Because it's cool.
With the GM providing a downside.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't know what you're worried about.
Fire breath, but now we can't have any close range conversations.
Spicy food sets it off. All right, Zach.
Okay. So let me pull mine. It's all the way at the bottom here. Let me do it in order.
So first we need a doctrine.
Yeah, so I think my doctrine is gonna be I think bearing in mind that this is not true for literally all of my peoples, but for the most part I think we would have been descended from mostly docile non-predatory animals, so I think we're going to go with the grazers. I have advantage moving as a group over large. So when I move the herd...
Not scavengers?
I mean, most stuff he's been talking about are cows and rhinos so far.
Well, yeah, I mean...
But the cows are the ones being attacked by the bird folk.
Yeah, the cows are something else that we may have to go find. I think it could go either way. I think it could be like apes and raccoons, or like, but also like deer and buffalo and things like that. So I think they both work. Like they both apply. But which one I'm going to pick? Because the scavengers is you have advantage infiltrating and scavenging for resources. Actually, you're right. Let's take scavengers, mostly because I think getting large portions of my herd to move at this point would be very difficult anyway.
It also kind of seems like y'all have like the tenacity thing going on, right? Like you're talking about how you're scrappy and you've got your old clothes and you're still helping these people and you're still getting taken advantage of, but it's not like you're not like huddling in fields for warmth.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah. That'll make sense then. So for my lifestyle, I don't have the settled nomadic options. I have air-based, land-based, and water-based. As attractive as water-based is, like I think it'd be funny if I would kill people. I've been describing all sorts of land-based animals. So I'm known for my phenotype is ideal for speed and endurance, and I will not grow tired before my prey or pursuer does.
Ideal.
So I can outrun, or long distance run, I guess.
Unless they're in a spaceship.
Unless they're in a spaceship, yes. Next is resources.
2 pluses, 3 minuses.
Yeah, so my options are morale, safety, recruit, scouts, and freshwater. I don't think morale is particularly high. Safety
is
probably
safety
is
high?
either.
You're safer now than you used to be.
Yeah, relatively safe. Recruits, I don't even know what that means in the context of like a genetically distinct peoples.
Well, I mean, there's all of your people that keep escaping from Jonathan's Semelius.
Well, yeah,
I was going to say excessive breeding.
I mean, I guess if I think of like all my like diasporic peoples as being potential recruits, right? Maybe that one works.
Right. There's the cows that escape from the crows. There's the folks that escape from Jonathan's, and like the people that escape from Matt's secret KFC joint.
I think I'm going to take. I'm probably going to take like recruits and scouts, and have it's in morale, safety, and fresh water.
Recruits and scouts.
Okay, so for my assets, your character can always start with some accessory that marks them as more than an animal. A scarf, engineering tools, a religious symbol, etc. So, something that makes me not look like an animal while I carry it, I guess.
The scarf is hilarious, but also like, come on, Mr. Tumnus, I think was the first animal that I saw wearing a scarf. It's not like, it's still totally a goat.
So weapons, I'm kind of vacillating between vicious assaults and hit and run tactics, which are fundamentally not that different. I think I'm definitely going for defenses. I'm going with natural hide. Like, we don't have a bunch of implants because those would have to be passed down generationally, and we don't have tech to do that. We don't have powered exoskeletons, as amazing as that would be. There's not really travel. I think we're mostly like on foot at this point.
Although, like, dog people in 4x4s is amazing.
Yeah. So the sheet in Roll20 does not the like scavenged off-road or stolen off-road vehicles. So I think I'm going to take stolen off-road vehicles as my. I want to have, like, this is the thing that we do. Like, we have the dune buggies, four-wheelers, and dirt bikes. We are fulfilling that. We're like that version of Lord Among Us right now.
But I also like simpler animals. Like, there's just like a dog riding a horse somewhere.
that feels. Okay, so first of all, have you seen the video of the dog?
Oh yeah, it's like circus level act, sure, but
no, like there's a one in it was in Grand Island, Nebraska, or something like that. Like a couple weeks ago, they got security footage. This dog kept going outside at night and like taking forever to come back when its owner thought it was peeing, and like they've got footage from like they found footage from like a camera on the barn or something of like this dog just like goes in, gets on a horse, and the horse runs around the pen.
Okay, no, I didn't see that.
I don't think we ride other animals. I think we have a fair amount of respect for other animals. We don't like venerate them, but we also like, yeah, it's fucked up when they use you, right? We wouldn't do that to you. So I don't think we're gonna do that. I think we'll take off-road vehicles. We'll take stolen off-road vehicles, natural hide and camo, and for weapons, I think we're mostly hit and run tactics. We definitely don't stand up and fight yet. Maybe that'll change later. And we don't have any expertise as a group. That's just not a thing we do.
No, but I also want scavenged guns on your off-road vehicles, and you have those like dune buggies from Half-Life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll get to that for sure. For sure. We're gonna be taking. We're gonna be. Well, we can scavenge now, so we're gonna have more of that. I think. Am I on to my my playbook moves?
Yeah.
All right, so I think I'm going to skip Atavistic Nature, even though it sounds pretty cool. I think we're going to go with Are We Not Men? When your family lends aid or otherwise protects another family without asking for anything in return, gain advantage on the joint effort. With adventurous success, gain a surplus, morale, culture, or motivation.
That's nice.
Yeah, like if I jump in and help, and we'll have a lot of opportunities because we're going to be everywhere, right? If I jump in and help, then I'm good at it, and I could I could feel like I did something cool. I think the other one I'm going to take is home, family, and future.
Yeah.
Because I like just that line, and also it's pretty cool power. So when your family fights for survival or supremacy, you can gain need, recruits, morale, and or motivation. For each one you take, choose one. One of your foe's champions will be overwhelmed. One chosen champion of your family will decimate scores of your foe's regular troops. Or those who witness the battle will forever be marked by the strength and power of your people. I'm into that.
That's got teeth. That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's me, right?
That is you.
So we are a diasporic, land-based group with ATVs that is skeptical of everyone, but will probably be there when you need, because we're just that kind of people.
All right, the hit and run tactics. You did settle on that, right? I wasn't gonna. And stolen off-road vehicles is just a brilliant, elegant, durable.
Yep. Yep, I really like that.
All right, Matt. Stranded Starfarers. What is your doctrine?
I think we're actually going to go with Gardener of Worlds.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah. It'll feed in. I got a good feeling about this.
Yeah, that plays with what you've been saying already, too.
Yeah. The lifestyle I'm looking at is actually dispersed, so kind of playing into everybody's kind of scattered around. But when they want to, we can get everybody together.
Yeah, that's a cool move.
Mm-hmm.
You just teleport everybody in.
Yup, pretty much.
What resources do you have in surplus?
We have defenses and science.
Do you mean progress?
See, it's different in the playbook.
Defenses, progress, morale, leadership, or energy. I think it's progress.
Defenses. So instead of science, it's probably progress, yeah.
Straight of Starfarers. Don't be a star. Yep. It is indeed science in the playbook. Interesting. Alright, probably just an older version.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll
Yeah.
put it in there. We'll make it work out.
And then you are lacking,
morale, leadership, and medicine.
yeah, minor detail.
Or energy in the playbook. Instead of medicine.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your assets?
The assets we have, so we have a feature that marks us as a human. So to that extent, I'm thinking just like they'd have like prominent fangs. Just
like tusks or
no, they're small enough to be considered fangs still.
okay.
Vampires.
Yeah, they're like vampires.
There's no way we didn't like dog punch you the first time we saw you.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So for weapons, we're looking at having psionic amplifiers. Kind of playing into that induced madness thing. We gave them the kind of like the smaller version. Ours is more. For defenses, we have our spacesuits, our silver jumpsuits. They're beautiful. And then for travel, we do fly around in our Nullgrad flyers.
You sure you don't want transport worms? Because come on, transport worms.
That was a temptation, however.
Those are all clearly Dune inspired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're kind of lacking our expertise at the moment, but that's just kind of the way we do.
So, what are your moves that you get for the your Starfarers?
They're just scary.
moves-
They're all scary.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're all horrifying. I actually chose invading armies. Basically,
the book actually name drops Starfarers as one of those groups that like everybody else needs to keep an eye on them or they'll nuke the setting. So
yeah,
Like literally.
Invading army. So let's read all these real quick. It's really interesting. Orbital bombardment. When you attack from orbit, raise a terrain feature or a surplus belonging to another family or faction. Then roll grasp. On a success, you cause unintended collateral damage. You galvanize your foes against you. Use this one trait. Invading armies. When you march upon an opponent, bring to bear all of your advanced arms and ships. Roll plus reach. Choose 1 or 2 depending on success. Their allies stop providing them support. Their followers start rioting in panic. One of their enemies will pay you a tribute of 1 surplus.
Yep.
So what is your second one?
The second one that I chose was the Wormhole Gates.
Oh my. One to read out Wormhole Gates.
Wormhole Gates is spend 1 tech to instantly relocate your character or one of your assets to safety of one of your bases.
Now that's one of the nicer options. The others available to you are Body Snatchers. When you roll a 7+ on Subterfuge, you may declare that some member of the targeted family or faction has been replaced with duplicates loyal to you. When you activate the Sleeper Cell, roll plus Sleight. On a hit, choose. You learn of secret ways with their defenses. You learn ways to move through this area quickly and unseen, or you learn clues to hidden strength of unknown territory. And on a 10+, you actually also have a safe house in that territory. You did not pick Abduction. If you use your Grasping Lights to abduct someone mentally or bodily, trigger Conduct Diplomacy, but lose 1 treaty on a family or faction. Or Conduct Diplomacy, Conduct Diplomacy. The target will remember this conversation. The target won't be able to lie to you. This abduction happens immediately. The absence will go unnoticed until it's too late.
Conduct Diplomacy is what takes place via probe.
Yeah. Contact Diplomacy. And then, wait, did we talk about alliance moves for other people?
No,
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, I don't think I read mine, actually.
Yeah, we were just going through trying to pick.
That's later on.
Yeah, I don't have that here anyway. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, those are your starters.
I probably should have gone with Body Snatchers, honestly, given my initial build. But on the other hand, I don't want to be that skeevy about this.
Orbital Bombardment's an awesome option, but your ship's just out of reach.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of straightforward on it here.
Yeah, you could totally pick Alien Psychology or Physiology if you wanted to.
I could do Alien Physiology, but I've already got hardened and sealed stuff with my spaces.
Yeah. All right. So we've got a pretty large playmat, the Boneyard. I was gonna maybe I'll try to condense some of this empty space here, because the threats. I guess the threats loom off screen is pretty awesome too.
We're also going to be filling that in, right? Like there's going to be more thing.
Yeah.
Kind of quiet yearish in that sense.
Awesome. All right, so it's 11:30. I'm playing for however many hours. We are in. That's everything for beginning of the game, I believe, right?
Yeah.
No, that is simply step 2.
Yeah, the next step is characters, I think.
Yeah.
We talk about broad strokes of the world, and we get individual characters. We've been at this for a while. Do y'all want to pick this up next week?
I'm fine with that, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That makes sense.
Because, we can talk about some of these broad strokes real briefly. Because,
Oh, yeah, because wasn't the next step, the world thing?
Yeah.
That seems like a good thing to wrap up on.
Yeah. So, now that you have an idea of what the world is like, fill in the details. What was the world like before? Are you on Earth or somewhere Earth-like? An alien planet? Somewhere stranger? We seem pretty much Earth.
Been just screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a screwed up version of Earth. But yeah, I still feel like Earth.
What technology defined it? What sort of strange things do they build? And what's your tech level after the fall? Do you have guns, telecommunications, farming, medicine? That's a little bit on the low end of the spectrum.
Yeah, it's a little bit wide.
Well, I mean, if you're running a Mad Max style game, do people farm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is everybody just,
Yeah. Well, it sounds like we've answered some of these here, where at least one of the strange things that they built is they were very big into genetic manipulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what's the tech level after the fall? Well, we apparently have some genetic manipulation. I don't know if we have guns. Nobody really said. Does anybody?
Yeah, nobody went after guns. Our visitors probably have some sort of space lasers.
Yeah.
we have psionic amplifiers.
So they don't even have guns.
Yeah, nobody that's actually from the old world was yeah, I'll take gun.
Well,
Yeah, okay.
but
So I'm going to posit that now that we've lost the ability to make the like black powder and shit. It's just not a thing that people know how to do anymore. Because I think it amuses me to play a game without any guns at all.
At least not in the vicinity of the bone.
Okay.
And, I mean, what use are guns versus kaiju?
Exactly.
And it's been so long that you've been fighting to survive. Why would you be fighting people?
Yeah. Telecommunications. I don't think any of us did anything with that. I'm gonna assume that like some level of electronics kicked around, because like doing any kind of real genetic manipulation without something like that.
Well, we've already established that it's what triggers the kaiju is just population size. Technology isn't really that big a worry. It's mostly just we don't have people to work everything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also, if we wanted to, we could say that like your genetic manipulation stuff goes on in a bunker or in a very specialized facility, because my family and Adam's church only seem to have the tech that is either like very bare bones or was given to us by someone else, right?
Yeah.
We're not super tech based.
Yeah.
And we could call it like just like pre-electronics, we could take it all the way down if we wanted to. At the same time, we've got a whole city to scavenge, so we can be bringing it back now. But I imagine like radios and things like this were not super useful.
Well, I mean, radios are, especially if we're spread out, but I'm going to say that like they're just very uncommon. So like if they're somewhere, they're like a treasure.
What if radios called the kaiju? Maybe it's not just population size. What if it's like? What if another trigger is like electromagnetic radiation based communications?
Are you implying that cell phones doomed humanity?
That's why we can't get in touch with the ship, because we can't talk beyond the Earth's.
Because if you do, the kaiju show up. Your ship got hurt once already.
Yeah, you can't break Atmo on your own.
Yeah.
Make a phone call and there's gonna be like Godzilla chasing you.
All right.
Dan scooping us up.
Okay. So is that well known that telecommunications are a bad idea?
I don't know that it is. I know that if we walk around, see a lot of smashed cell phone tower.
Yeah. Okay, and like, just because this amuses me, I'm going to pitch that there's a rudimentary telegraph thing set up.
Okay.
Like, we don't have reliable power, so it's a thing like, it happens like once a day. Like, at noon, run this generator or spin this crank and see if you get anything.
For the crank mystery.
Yeah. But like, cause like, if my impression is that the Boneyard's fairly spread out.
But I mean, think about how awesome it is to have that emergency radio, right? It's you can use it, but bad things may happen.
It's got one shot.
And like, if there are kaiju that are triggered by telecommunications, are some kaiju triggered by other types of electric or radiation bursts? This is not a bright future you're painting for yourselves.
No, it's not.
No.
We're good at that. Yeah. All right, so we go with it. Like, radio waves call radios definitely call kaiju. All right. And then I think farming is fairly common in the bone. Oops. Go ahead.
I would say that also means that radios are like holy objects to my faith.
For you people,
It's true, right?
Yeah.
You guys have just a pile of walkie-talkies with dead. Right?
And all they need are batteries now.
Yep.
So
deficit energy.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing. So farming, plentiful. Medicine.
Yep.
It seems like medicine in your community is going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it's like a luxury, but it's present and possible.
Yeah, we can obtain it if the people that we're going to wind up playing as player characters can get medicine
Right.
through some means if they need it.
There may be like grumpiness from the NPCs as you're getting that blood transfusion, which is no big deal, but
Yeah.
super limited in resources,
Are
right?
you kidding me? We can grow blood. That's perfectly fine.
Honestly, I am not writing off the possibility that yes, there's like just some sort of vat underground in the Similin compound that just makes blood.
The blood vat, but it's like it's a whole bunch of chimeras that just have like rapid hemoglobin replacement mutation.
So I will point out that right now I'm actually short on medicine because it's one of my needs, as is the thing you need to make medicine for me. So that is a current problem.
So medical practices are possible, but supplies are low?
Yeah, basically. Because I can turn progress into progress and medicine, but I don't have either right now.
So I mean that's adventure 1 right there, right?
Yeah.
Cool. What caused the fall?
I thought we already discussed that.
We basically did.
Well, okay, so like Kaiju showed up, right?
So
and we probably had a
Kaiju, also aliens,
to start with. Right? But something had to happen.
All right, so look at the questions in that thing, and the answer is yes, no, yes, no.
Technology gone too far? Yes. No. Slave race revolt? Yes, absolutely.
Natural disaster? No. Invasion? Yes.
It's a pretty weak tea invasion for being right?
Just
like
say like
such a strong word.
He said competent invasion. Also, I find using the reminder text. But remember to leave room for it to go weird. Oh, I think we got it.
Baby, you don't gotta worry about weird.
No, yeah, this is Space Wizard, not Swamp Wizard's level of nonsense silliness / meat on these bones. Yeah,
that's like brutal dark.
What's it? Oppressive darkness filled with people that can teleport out of thin air with a can of beer in a shop.
Yeah. I just really like the idea that, like, I like the fact that like the thing that's gonna cut the tension is cultists being eaten, and that's gonna be the humor beat at some point, right?
All right.
Well, there goes Bob. You owe me $5.
I imagine waiting for you guys to make like side characters for my cultists. So competition like, no, today is my day to get eaten. Don't you dare interrupt.
Just have to pass that token around.
My day for consumption. I prepared.
Oh, conspicuous consumption. Nice. All right. So, I think that's going to bring us to. Let me just drop this final note here on the page. Notes: remember to leave room for it to get weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
Leave room for it to get more normal, please.
Leave room for it to normalize at some point.
Literally just Florida. Everywhere else is perfectly fine.
I feel like if Fallout had been made in like the late 90s, with all the genetic engineering shit that was going, like the fear mongering and like that stuff that was going on, it would have looked like this. It would have had like aliens and kaiju and like people sacrificing themselves to it, and like instead of ghouls, it would have been cow people. Cow people
We're
everywhere.
like 3 steps shy of the piano world, pretty much.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
All right, folks. This is awesome. I hope you had a good time. So this has been the D&D podcast presents our session 0/session 1. I guess this is actual how that works of Legacy After the Fall 2nd edition. Join us next week for Life Among the Kaiju session 2-ish.
And just note it'll be probably a shorter session, at least for me.
Yeah.
If not.
Well, you'll just get eaten halfway through, and the rest of it.
All right. So find us on everywhere social medias are sold. think that's the
years
phrase.
old on social media. That works too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Your friendly reminder to I'm going camping tomorrow for 3 days, and who knows what kind of weather that's going to be. So do something fun outdoors. If anybody else want to have your non-capitalist plug for the evening,
There's an outdoors.
I'm gonna make it the same one I made last night. Sleep. This is my non-capitalist plug for sleep. Sleep. It's good for you. Go to sleep.
Sleep.
Just a couple more points there, Zach, and maybe it'll get that free sample.
That's how you wish.
All right, I'm gonna press the stop button. So, toodles.
Good night, everybody.